What is going on YouTube? Hayden back making another brand new Crypto TV episode. In today's video, we are going to be looking at XRP, Ethereum, Bitcoin, as well as the S&P 500. So guys, if you remember the past couple of days, we've been tracking what appears to be a potential symmetrical triangle, which we thought had a bearish bias, breaking us to the downside here. And I believe it was Saturday, we continued this drop. We confirmed that the break to the downside was most likely going to come true. You can see here, I do have the YouTube channel pulled up. You can see for the past couple of days, we've been tracking the symmetrical triangle, waiting for the breakout to happen. You can see here, we had the symmetrical triangle forming beautifully here, and we've been waiting for us to fill in the gap, and then we would get the result that we were looking for. Then move forward, like to 3 to 4 days ago, we have the symmetrical triangle filling in the gap, getting closer and closer and closer. Then you can see again, we get even closer to filling it in. And then I move over here, you can see 2 days ago, a day to 2 days ago, it should update. You can see here 2 days ago that it was literally filling in the gap, completely filled it in, and that there was literally no more room for us to decide where we were going to be moving to. There's no more room for us to just continue to fill this gap in. A decision had to be made. We were either going to be breaking bullish or breaking bearish to the downside here. And then you can see 22 hours ago, this would be officially a day, and this would be 2 days ago. You can see yesterday we filled in the gap here. We had a decision to make, and that was to either break bullish or bearish. We said with certainty, or with a fairly high certainty, that we would be breaking bearish, and you can see we corrected out of that. Now flash forward to today, you can see we've continued this correction to the downside here, with Bitcoin falling to the downside, and you can see Ethereum has continued to fall to the downside. The only reason we're starting to kind of skew a little bit higher up here is because we're now becoming oversold. You can see, or sorry, oversold. We're becoming too oversold too quickly here, and we're starting to consolidate up a little bit, but that doesn't necessarily mean we're going to reverse to the upside here. This could be a continued correction to the downside. It is very possible we could stair step down because we, because we broke bearish here. And when you really take the correction that we had here, like, I don't want to do it because it's a really nasty drop, but if you take this drop and you place it where we currently are, you can see this pretty much scales us down closer to $12,000 here. I obviously don't want us to fall to 12K, but that is definitely a huge possibility on these cryptos. Regardless, we were able to short Bitcoin, we were able to short Ethereum here using Bityard, the #1 cryptocurrency leveraging exchange that I like to use here on the channel. More information about Bityard will be later on in today's video. I've also linked them down in the description below if you'd like to check them out. But with all that being said, make sure to smash the like button, turn on post notifications, subscribe, and let's dive into today's video. So as you guys can see, a quick refresh, you can see we are currently down 2.54%. I mean, this makes sense. We've been calling for a potential correction on these cryptos pretty much every day for over a week now. As you guys remember, some people were saying we're not going to fall lower. Well, I mean, this is clear as day. We actually are falling lower. So unfortunately, that is something we expected. It could be short term, and I'm hoping that we're nearing the bottom here, but short term we are going to continue to drop lower, and maybe moving forward we'll be able to slowly run back up. I do believe we're in a period now, we're entering a period now of uncertainty where markets will pretty much teeter-totter, moving up, moving down, but not really continuing to drop like we saw in the bear market since the beginning of this year to where we are now, because it's been currently almost, I think, 8 months here. We're going on 9 months, or no, sorry, we have, it's November. We've been going on 11 months now of this correction, almost a year come next month, which is insane here. But you can see the consolidation that we started to have here got, very constricted, tight, and we broke bearish. You can see it's pretty much on all these cryptos, got tight, then broke bearish. You can see BNB, sideways trading, flatline, broke bearish, XRP, sideways trading, broke bearish. Lots of things we have to look at and figure out. I'm going to start the video on XRP. Let me just get rid of this, XRP to USD, Bitfinex. This is what we're going to be looking at. You can see here, we actually are filling in this symmetrical triangle that we drew in, which is quite surprising to me. As you guys remember in the past here, we didn't really have the most appropriate symmetrical triangle to pretty much base our trades off of, but surprisingly today we're starting to see that. So that's quite interesting if you ask me. Maybe the 4-hour will reveal something a little bit clearer here. No, we're kind of trading out of it. You can see a little bit higher. I mean, I think you probably could I don't know if I'd move it up. You could definitely move it down, probably do something like this. But regardless here, if we jump to the daily now, you can see that we are most certainly forming some sort of symmetrical triangle where we are bottoming off. We have 3 confirmations for the most part here, 1, 2, and then 3. You can see where we've retested this top resistance, having trouble breaking through, and where we've retested the bottom, having trouble breaking through. 1, 2, 3 confirmations. This is becoming a third here, but I think we are going to continue to fill in this gap. I would be nice if I could adjust this on the 4-hour to give us a better look, but I just don't think it's like very likely. I could, you know, scale this lower here. It is a possibility. I don't really want to, but I guess I'll leave it here for right now. Could we move this up? Again, I don't really want to. I think this is the most accurate here for looking at the 4-hour, but truly, I think the best result is something along the lines of this. Maybe we leave it like this, and this is, for the most part, the downtrend that we're dealing with here. I'll jump to the daily to show you what it is that I mean here. This is truthfully what I am hyper focused on. I truthfully believe that this symmetrical triangle is going to play out, and unfortunately I think it's going to break us down. You can see we have the downtrend into the symmetrical triangle, which will most likely result in another downtrend variance after. I do believe we are going to correct downwards after this. Very similar with these cryptos. You can see here with Ethereum, exactly the pattern that happened on Ethereum is what I believe is going to happen on XRP. So we had the drop into here, and then I believe we're going to continue this drop down. We did confirm that here. So I believe for XRP, we are going to be doing the same thing. The only difference is we're doing this on the daily chart instead of the 4 hours, which means this could be much more aggressive in regards to the drop that we see here. But right now, there is, without a doubt, some sort of symmetrical triangle forming here that could lead us to correct lower. Now, hopefully that's enough for XRP, we did, pretty much confirm that there is some sort of symmetrical triangle forming. The end of this comes to be in about 4 days, so really not that long from today. 4 days we'll get some sort of result as to, are we going to be breaking up? Are we going to be breaking down? Obviously, we'll buy in for a short if we break through our price floor, this uptrend here, and we'll buy in for a long if we break through this resistance. But ideally, we're leaning more towards a bearish drop just because of the bias that this sort of descending pennant flag has. Now, moving forward with Ethereum and these other cryptos, you can see we're starting a stair-stepping pattern down. We broke bearish. This is confirmed. We knew this. Unfortunately, that was the result that we were expecting here. It was intended that we would correct lower. You can see the drop into it. We filled in the gap. We saw volume die off, getting really constricted, and here we are breaking bearish. We discussed that if we close the 4-hour, which we did right here, we closed the 4-hour below this uptrend here. That was confirmation to buy in. We bought in at 1166, and you can see that we've now fallen all the way down to 1135. So it's been a small drop. You can see, I'll show you the original drop has fallen a total of 8.75%, but at buy-in, it's about 5.2%. So with this short in this 5.2% drop, if we put a stop loss slightly higher than where we bought in, there's a good chance we're going to continue to slide lower, because if we jump to the daily, you can see we are not just yet oversold, and there's a big chance that we could fall back down to our price floor, which is right here. You can see we have a lot of retests of that area before, and you can see the beautiful symmetrical triangle forming here. We could even take it as far as saying, hey, maybe there's some sort of descending fractal forming here. Maybe it's something like this. Would that line up well if we jump to the 4-hour? You can kind of see that sort of the pattern that's forming as well, that this could continue to slide us lower in sort of this stair-stepping, descending fractal formation. I'm going to leave this on this for right now, but you can kind of see the result that I'm referencing here, that we are kind of sliding to the downside. Whether or not it was a descending fractal, I think a symmetrical triangle, and I do believe that there was, because we confirmed breaking it right here. We are forming some sort of descending fractal too, and I believe that's going to scale us lower until we hit 1046 on Ethereum. So I do believe we're going to scale lower. Same thing applies itself with Bitcoin here. I believe we're going to scale lower too. You can see we did retest oversold, but jumping to the daily, we're nearing oversold too. We're at a very intricate level here. This is the lowest point we've been to in 2022, and it's the lowest point we've been to in a very, very, very long time. So hopefully we can maintain some sort of support soon, but unfortunately breaking bearish outside of this, trading lower, is not looking good for a potential reversal here. It's leaning more towards drop to the downside. You can see the amount of volume that broke us to the downside here. So it is a little sketchy and it is a little nerve-wracking, but we are nearing oversold, and because volume's kind of low, there's a chance it could reverse up. There's a chance we could trade out of this. That's hopefully what happens, but we don't know for sure. But obviously, we do have shorts in just in case we continue to slide lower here, but I don't know how much lower we're going to be moving to. I think it's going to be very short term. Ideally, the main focus is on the S&P 500. If somehow the S&P over the next couple of days breaks us through this major resistance here, we're going to long this to the upside. It's going to be huge, but unfortunately, there's a lot riding on it saying there's a good chance we're going to be falling lower. And honestly, we're going to have to let that play out, but I think a lot, lies on how the S&P decides to trade over the next couple of days. But with that being said, guys, definitely make sure to smash the like button, turn up those notifications, subscribe, and I'll see you in tomorrow's video. Peace.